made my way back. I'm doped up in a good way.
You high.
I'm high in a good way. It ain't nothing I'm gonna get addicted to. It's the little packs. No. What the doctor give you?
Oh,
Z-Pack.
Yeah,
so I'm on my second round.
So you prescription. Yeah, I don't do prescription pills.
Use as directed. So I'm on my second round, and thank God this week I'm feeling so much better. But I did not want to miss the opportunity to speak to my guest today, so I'm not going to prolong it any longer. Want to welcome Dr. Heavenly to the Joyce Littel Show on FM Digital Live. Welcome, Dr. Heavenly.
Hey, Joyce Littel, how you doing? I'm
She
happy
said
to
it
be
right.
here.
She been
how
calling
you
me
feeling?
Lil almost.
No,
I wish I was Lil.
It's French.
It's French, a black Frenchard.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is Dr. Heavenly. I actually received an email from the 135th Street, Saptosa.
Yeah.
And when I saw the email, you were having a book signing this past Sunday.
Yep.
Had I not been stuffed up and cold and all of that, I wanted to come to that.
Yes.
But I definitely knew come the 16th you were going to come be on the show. But when I got the email, you know, one thing about emails, you can start digesting people. You can find out who they were.
A lot about them, yeah.
You can find a lot about you. So for those who haven't done some of the homework that I've done, tell us, who is Dr. Heavenly?
Well, I'm a young lady, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a wife and a mother of 3, and I own 4 dental practices in the city of Atlanta, right outside Atlanta. And I just wrote a new book called Dr. Heavenly's Business Prescriptions. You can have it all.
Okay, now, what made you? Let's go back a little bit, because we got an hour, so we can get a lot in.
Okay.
We can get a lot of
You
your
wanna talk
business
about it? Okay.
in an hour. What led you to the dentistry? What, you know, in your youth, in your teenage years, and what you decided made you want to become a dentist?
Well, originally, I'm from Miami, Florida, from a place called Overtown. I don't know if y'all know Overtown. It's something like Bankhead, but then we moved up to Liberty City. But my dad was in the service for a while, and we were in the military schools. And then when he went overseas, my mom didn't want to go to Germany, so we moved back to Overtown so my mom could save up enough for college. Now, I went from a good school to a intercity school. So I excelled tremendously. At that time, I didn't realize it was a review, but I thought I was smart. So I picked a job I thought would be for smart people. I said I wanted to be a doctor. So from a very young age, I knew I wanted to be a doctor. I went through junior high, high school. My name is Heavenly, you know that, and I was tormented as a child. A lot of people would call me Heavenly Father full of grace, hell, helly, hellified, all that. I remember all of that. And in high school, I said, hey, let me turn some lemons into lemonade. So I said, let me start using my name as a brand. And one thing in my book, we talk about leverage. You can leverage anything. So I started leveraging my name, and what I did was I ran for student government vice president, and I won.
What was your slogan?
Based on my name, vote for Heavenly. I guess people thought they would go to hell if they didn't vote for Heavenly, so they did. And I was vice president of student government. Then I had a job at Mickey D's. I had a job at McDonald's. I worked there for about 3 years, and they used to call me Crack. Not because I was on drugs, but because I worked so dang hard for that $3.35 an hour. So I was on vice president of student government. I worked at McDonald's, and so I got a full Army ROT scholarship to Florida A&M University. And from there, I was in ROTC, and a recruiter came from Meharry Medical College, because my major was pre-med, and he came to talk to me about dentistry. And, you know, I had a conversation with him. I said, you know, I want to be a mother. I want to have kids. I want to do all this. And he talked to me about dentistry, and he said, well, you can set your own hours. You don't have to do a long residency program, and we're going to give you some money to boot. So I went to dental school, and I was good at it. So you asked me how I got into dentistry. That's how it was. Make a long story short, we got an hour. Yeah, so that's how I got into dentistry. And love it.
And when you realize your name,
yes,
did you go to your mom and say, Mama, why you name me Heavenly?
You know, I always liked my name. You know, even though kids tease me, I always liked my name because it was different. Like, Eclipse over there. My name wasn't Becky or Beth or Sue, Heavenly. So, I learned at a young age to just use what you have, no matter what it is. You leverage people, you leverage networking, you leverage other people's money, other people's. So I always just used that name, and everybody knew me because of my name.
Where did your practices start? Did it start in Miami, or did it start in
No, actually,
Atlanta?
I'm from Miami, and I went to FAMU. That's in Tallahassee. Then I went to Meharry Medical College. That's in Nashville.
Right.
I met my husband there. So his first residency was in Memphis. We stayed in Memphis 3 years. I was a associate dentist there, and we moved to Atlanta. He got in Emory to do emergency medicine, so I opened a practice here in Atlanta. And I started out in Jonesboro, Georgia. My first practice, Heavenly Dental Associates, and we kind of built from there. So we have 4 practices now: Norcross, Lithonia, Covington, and Conyers.
How does it? How can you manage 4 practices? Like I read, 4 practices. You are married, 15 years from what I read.
Right.
3 kids and 3 dogs.
Yes, ma'am. And that's what people kept asking me. Heavenly, how do you do this? How can you take care of this? How can you do? I can't even manage myself, and I'm not married. So that's what the premise of the book was. Dr. Heavenly Business Prescriptions. You can have it all, and it's all about life balance. Of course, we're not totally balanced on anything, because everything has different weight in our lives. Of course, family first, God, then family, then business. But first of all, I worked hard as heck in the beginning. But now, I ain't gonna tell you my age, but I'm a little bit, seasoned, and I can kind of delegate a lot of things, So basically, that's how we run it. I have great consultants. I have great staff that's been with me a long time. And main thing is they're loyal, so you put great people in place. I got a wonderful husband that supports me in everything I do. My kids.
And I'm sure that's vice versa.
Oh, yeah. 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 Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's how we do. I mean, now, before I would work 5 days a week. Now I work 2 days from 9 to 2. And then I'm able to, do the administrative stuff, because I do sign all my own checks. I do watch the money. And it works. I work it out. I got 3 kids. My oldest boy is 15. I have an 11-year-old, and then I have a 7-year-old girl. I actually tried for her, because I wanted a girl at 34. I wanted a little girl. I said, hey, let me put these numbers together. And it worked. When you put the numbers and the dates together, it worked right on that. And I asked God for a little girl. I got a girl.
One thing that you talked about, and we're going to get into Dr. Heavenly's business prescriptions, but one thing that you talked about is the staff that you have. You have great associates. In running a business ourselves, and people who are always listening to us and tuned in are business-minded people, how do you leverage those people who are really supportive of you and you can honestly say, I got great associates? What is it about you and the work that you do turn them into who they've become?
Well, it takes a while to get there. It's a lot of turnover till you get the right people, and they may be great clinicians or great at what they do, but they just don't mesh with the doctor, So it takes a lot of turnover to find out who you can work with, who can do great jobs and everything like that. So it takes a while. It's just not overnight that you get people in place.
When you find one, then what nurturing tools do you use?
Well, you take care of them. They take care of you. You take care of them. You put bonus systems in place. Everybody's pretty much on a bonus system. So whatever comes in, it's a certain percentage for everything. There's a certain percentage for supplies. There's a certain percentage for lab costs, and there's a payroll expense. So if you get to a certain level, that expense goes up, and whatever flows over, I flow to my staff.
That's a good thing.
So that's the only way to do it. And then if you put principles in place, you give them a strategic guideline, a strict guideline of what they're supposed to do. If they don't do it, they fire themselves, because they know what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
I told you. I wrote it down. All you had to do was implement.
Yeah, and then I have them sign off on it. So if we come back and you haven't done it, you already know the deal. So, yeah.
Now, let's go to, before we get into it, because like I said, we have time.
Yeah.
You are the best-selling co-author for the best-selling series of Wake Up, Live the Life You Love. What is that about?
That was a great privilege. I was asked to write a portion of a book with Wayne Dyer and other notable professionals about they just told me to give a testimony, and I gave a testimony of a story where I was opening my second practice, and I was buying some commercial real estate. And for me, it was a big leap for me in expense in the amount that it was. And I prayed about it. And I ask God, because before I make any big step, I always pray and I ask for a sign. I asked the Lord for a sign. I said, Lord, give me a sign. It was Christmas time. This is the story I told. It was Christmas time, and it was really just on my mind, but I had not gotten confirmation to move forward with it. And I prayed, and I was driving. I was driving home to Miami from Atlanta and going to see my mom. My mom was down there, and I drove the whole time. I was praying. I was meditating. And when I got to Miami, my mom, she said that we needed to go to the grocery store because she didn't get everything she needed. And in Miami, they got a store called Extra, I think it is. It's open 24 hours. So it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Me and her and my sisters, we went to the grocery store. And I'm walking around the store. She's doing her shopping, and I'm just kind of looking at the magazines and stuff. And a lady came up to me, and she said she was a prophetess. And she said, she didn't say my name. Look, that would have how it fell on the floor. She said, hey, excuse me. And I said, yeah. She said, are you thinking about starting another business? And I said, yeah, why do you ask? And she said, well, I'm a prophetess, and I don't know why, but I've been called to tell you that the business that you want to start, God told me to tell you to go for it. And I was like, I was just stunned. I was just stunned. So I mean, that happened. I ain't making it up. That's on my kids. It happened. And I was like, wow, if you pray and meditate and you ask God for what you want, he'll tell you right out. So that's the story I told in that book, Wake Up, Live the Life You Love. And I actually told that story in this book as well.
I mean, that's inspiration.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Inspiration in itself. So Dr. Heavenly's business prescriptions, you can have it all. You can have it all. Yes. That's a lot to say.
Yeah, it is. But with God, he's capable of anything. Yeah, he is. You can do it.
Let's start with chapter 1.
All right.
He says, "What's the problem?" I'm in the contents. I haven't had the pleasure of reading the book, but I see now this is going to be some of my night reading.
Right.
So you gotta help me understand what I'm about to get into when we're talking about this book. And all of our texters, Jackie 1, thank you so much. It's good to be feeling better, and love my life as well. Page 2, you says, "What's the problem?" I mean, that just sounds like why are you here? What's the problem?
Yeah. What's the problem? What ails you? And for most people, it's procrastination and fear. We have a lot of great business tips in there, but before we can even get to them, we got to get their mind right. Because most people procrastinate or they scared. And the main thing I say in that book is faith and fear cannot coexist. We hear that all the time. Our mind cannot occupy two thoughts at the same time. And you got to get that fear out because it ain't of God. It's not of God. So once you able to meditate, positive affirmations, pray to God, whatever it is you need to do to get that fear out. Because a lot of times we're afraid of things that we just don't know. And then when we actually get to them, dang, it ain't that bad. I done been through it all. I ain't scared of nothing because I done been there. Anything that could happen, I've been through already. So a lot of times my colleagues will say, well, what'll happen if this happened? Girl, that ain't nothing. All that's going to happen is this, that, and the other, So fear, a lot of times you're afraid, but it ain't that bad. Nothing's bad. Hit it head on.
How much of this started in your practice? I mean, meeting people and understanding the fears that we have. Does it start? Because I know my dentist is Dr. Tiffany Baker.
Okay.
And prior to she starting the work, I can actually just load some things on her, like just Dr. Baker, such and such and such and such and such. And like when I lost my job, she was very concerned about my mental, state. I'm like, I'm good. It's all right.
Probably better off.
I had things, in place. So how much of understanding what is needed or what was needed in this book started with the people that you met just sitting in your chair?
Well, most of that book is not about the patients. I did not get that information from the patients. It was my colleagues that would ask me how I could do it all. The other female dentists, the other female physicians, attorneys would come and ask me, Heavenly, how you do this? I can't get my practice going. And here you is, you got 4 and you got kids and you got a man, which they none, they ain't got no man. But, a lot of them, they don't.
That would be Dr. Baker.
Yeah, so I mean it is. And I actually have a show on AIB. It's called Dr. Heavenly's Business Prescriptions, and we always get into relationships. And the thing about it is, I don't know if I'm getting you off the book.
No,
or whatever,
we can go back.
But the thing about it is, I will ask the men, professional men that were single. This Atlanta, but they weren't that way. But the professional men that are single, I will ask them, why aren't you married? And they say, women make it too easy. They don't have any self-respect. They're throwing themselves at them. And they don't mind being number 2 or 3. This is what the men are saying. But now the females, you ask them and they say, oh, I'm a doctor and these men are intimidated by me. They don't know how to handle a real woman, you know. So we have to get in the midst of it, because I guess
so then where's the truth? Where's the truth? If
the truth is in your reality. Because if you think that these men are intimidated by you, I see his face over there, but look, then they are in your mind. You know what I mean? So that's what you're going to attract.
And I think professional women, or just women in general, will find any and every excuse to use when you don't have that connection.
Right.
And it's easy to make the excuse.
Right, it is. And
it's hard to tell the truth now.
You know, I ain't trying to offend nobody. You got your brothers sitting there, but the brothers just ain't stepping up like they used to. I mean, we outnumber them as far as black professionals. I mean, if you go to professional school, it's mostly women, even in dentistry, which is primarily supposed to be a male-dominated field, but it's all women. Where the brothers at? I don't know where they are. He tell me, I don't know. They ain't there. I mean, and the ones that were there were already taken. You know, so the sisters got it hard, and you know, they got a choice of you know, I'm not saying lowering their expectations, but they have to look for different things.
But then when you hear like you just said, from men are saying women make it too easy.
Right.
Then where can we find the balance in someone saying, well, he said that you're making it too easy, but then these women are over here saying we got it going on too much. How can the gap be bridged?
That's where Dr. Heavenly comes in, because I feel like the man is right. The man is right, because we have to re-educate black women into being more submissive. Not saying we are submissive in a bad way. We submit to one another, but there can't be two heads. You know, it's out of balance if it's two heads. And I say this over and over again. And one young lady that was on my show, I used to always say I was the neck. She said we're the neck and the back, because we show the support. But having a relationship, you can't have ego, because just know, Joyce Littel, that we are smarter than men by nature. You know that. You know that, Joyce. I got one of the most educated men in the world. He's double boarded in family medicine and emergency medicine. And yet, common sense, we got it. We got the power of discernment that they don't even see what we see. But if you could get a man to just work with you and listen to you, and you don't have ego, because you're right, but you can't tell him you're right. You can't be right.
You
gotta pick and choose your battle. I don't know why this man looking at me like that. Well, I don't know what he want to say. Go on and say it, because I got something for that too. But what I'm saying is the woman has to be submissive. You know what I mean? We can't have all the ego. And I think a lot of times when you get that doctor in front of your name, the women have the ego.
Yeah.
That's what
Love Jones 29 says, this show is for me. I was praying this morning about my future, and I have been afraid to pursue my passion in writing. Sometimes I need things broken down to me so I know where to begin. Why do we need to hear from people like you to know the direction that we need to take? Why isn't it just all up in here anyway?
It is there. It is there already, but faith comes through hearing. It comes through example. It's in the Bible. I don't know where, but it's in there. Faith comes through hearing, and that's why we go to church every Sunday, to hear it over and over again. And it's something about hearing that you can do it and seeing somebody do it that gives you the insight that you can do it too. You know, if she do it, she from over town. If she could do it, I could do it too. Why not? She black. She's a female. That's a triple whammy there, you know? If I could do it, anybody can. That's what I think.
Being black and female, how have that been a difficulty for you?
Well, you know, everybody thinks they have a crutch. Everybody has some kind of ailment, whether they're black, whether they're Jewish, whether they're whatever. But what you have to do is make it to your advantage. I mean, if you think about like Obama, you know, a black man, he couldn't have thought that was a crutch to him. Or if he did, you have to work it out anyway. There's no excuses. We're not taking no for an answer. There's no excuses.
Times
so
have changed.
Whatever it is, you can overcome it. And Obama showed you that. And he's smart enough to listen to his woman. You know that woman's smart, right? Now, if you can get a man to listen. If you could get a man to listen,
Clips, you gonna be okay?
Am I hurting you, Clips?
No.
I'm hurting you because he know I'm right.
No, I'm not completely right.
Okay, well, okay.
I guess being that I was raised by mostly women.
Are you married, like, Clips? Okay, you nullin' boy. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I've been with my girl for a long time.
Okay, so let me let it go.
I don't. The marriage thing is hard for me.
Yeah.
But I was raised by a lot of women.
Okay.
My mom, aunts, and everything. And I feel like I see both sides.
Okay.
I think like a man, I think like a woman.
Yeah.
So to say that a woman is smarter than me, that's kind of hard for me to take in.
Okay, let's prove it. Oh, no, I'm just joking. Go
Oh,
ahead.
you're a doctor. You probably
No.
But I don't think
in
it
general.
has, I don't think
it's exceptions
it
to
has
every
anything
rule.
to do.
But yeah.
But I
not
don't think
Yes.
being a doctor has anything
It
to
does
do
not.
with
It does not. I
mean,
the
the
inquisitiveness of a woman.
Go on, tell him, Joyce.
Because I'm not a doctor. Far,
And you know,
far from
and you know you smarter than
and I know how to manage
Help me, Clips.
my home, my husband.
Clips, I'm
And I
saying.
think
I
that's
manage my home
Okay.
completely. I do.
Okay. I'm going to leave Clips alone because, see, he
Hey,
ain't even got no
technically,
ring on.
my-
How you managing a
my
home
girl-
and he
my
ain't
girl
even
don't
made the
have
first
to, She
step?
don't have to do anything.
Okay, well, cool. That's cool for her. Is she satisfied with that? That's the question. And then
She
what
never complained
type?
about it.
You know, okay.
She
But that's
never
how
complained.
everybody got their thing. Everybody got their
And
thing.
this
I knew I
is-
couldn't be
this is
satisfied
the
just being
consensus.
dependent on anyone.
I mean, she's not dependent on me.
Right.
Not at all. She works. She has her own.
Oh.
But as far as taking care of the household and
Oh.
everything,
Oh, okay.
I handle that.
I think the
That's
thing
good.
of it is we were born and raised to have a sense, you know, in running things and doing things. Just like one thing that have kept peace within my home is that I know what I want to do to the house.
Right.
I mean, bottom
Right.
line. I know what I want to do. But to keep peace, women know to structure it to where it sounds like me and you made this decision.
Right. There you go.
And
Because
I do that all the time.
and that's
that's my point. We're smarter. We have to manipulate you.
Now, do I say Jay know how to do that? Mm-mm. He don't know how to make it seem like it was an hour decision.
But that's my point. I do that all the time with her.
Okay. But that's different. You different. It's an
I'm
exception
very
to every
different.
rule. It's an exception.
Yeah, I mean,
to every rule.
there are exceptions to all rules, but only thing that we're saying and is that we
Women
do
smarter
have
than me.
an inquisitiveness. We do, and most women who are women who sitting around pretty much doing nothing, we ain't talking to them no more.
Right. Right.
You know, we done with talking.
Look,
with
we done
them.
made Clips mad. Now come on,
Like
man.
my
Clips,
man
you know
Frost
we
said,
just talking,
sometimes
dude.
we let
Everybody
y'all
got their
think y'all made the
opinion.
decision.
Hello,
Everybody
Frost.
got their opinion.
Clips just read
But I'm
a
right.
text from a guy, Frost. He says sometimes we let you think you made the decision.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, we did make the decision. What we
And
did
that's
was
on both sides.
Of course. But I can't say that a
Marry
woman have more
someone,
common
Frost.
sense than me.
Marry someone, and then determine who's going to keep your house running.
Mm.
She's going to keep your house running. She's going to keep your house
and
running.
that's why you marry her, because you know
Exactly.
she got your back and she gonna take everything and make it right. That's why she married her. That's why you married her.
Marriage is a hard thing for me. That's a whole other discussion.
Okay.
That's a whole
You want to
nother
discuss
topic.
it? I can help you with that
I'm
too
so
if you want to
against
talk about
confinement.
it.
I'm so against
Marriage
confinement.
isn't confinement.
Oh boy.
I do not want to go to jail. I'm sorry.
Go to jail? Why you mean? What you mean?
Because you one of them, if I can't have you, no one will.
No, I'm
gonna
one of
kill
them.
her?
No, I'm one of them. If everything, it's a possibility that something could happen,
Like,
and I might need to walk away.
Then
So
walk away.
it's kind of hard to
confusing me,
walk away when
Clips.
it's the paperwork involved.
shoot, paperwork is just that.
That's all it
I mean,
is.
I know we would have to split it. Like I tell everybody, talking to somebody the other day. I said if we split up today, we still have to divide the assets and whatnot, and it'll be just like a divorce, but nobody else will be involved. It'll just be between us, and we separate, walk away.
I'm gonna leave Clips alone.
Welcome,
'cause I think
TJD from Brooklyn. Says you have
Clips
to meet
already
the right
mad.
one.
I ain't gonna go there. No,
I'm not mad.
Clip.
I'm not mad. Just women not smarter than me,
Shit.
and I'm talking about me in
Excuse
general.
me.
Yeah, shit. I heard you. Lost that
Excuse me,
professional.
Littel. How you feeling today? Let's keep it positive. God is good. Ain't he good to
And
us?
all the time.
I know that's right.
I love Jones 29 said when everybody's sick and can't do nothing, that woman is going to keep that house
That's
working
right.
like clockwork.
That's it.
Here. I mean, well, one great thing these last couple of weeks is I do have a husband who the switch can be flipped because we've been in that situation. But understand this: it can be flipped because the house itself have been set up so well already that all he got to do is maintain what has already been set up. If the woman ain't happy, the house is not
not gonna be in order. Make the woman happy. But you know what the thing about it is, Joyce, if a man loves you like Christ loves the church, I'm gonna throw it out there, he will marry you. If he says it's not, the timing is right, I got confined and that ain't the right woman. Because when they find the right woman, they do it all the time. It's an exception every rule. I ain't talking about you, Eclipse. You can stop looking at me.
Clips need to write his own book. Clips need to write his own book. And guess how many copies he gonna sell? 2.
That's it. Him and his brother. Him and his brother.
His mama.
That's it. His mama gonna so support.
I'm child,
so your mama, your mama bad.
Yeah, him and his mama. Them the only 2 gonna buy. Because a real one ain't gonna hear. Excuse me, a real woman ain't gonna hear.
Not you, Clips. We not talking about you. Act like you ain't even here. But if a man love you, he'll marry you. That's it. I mean, he'll put the people put. Nah, let me hush.
Frost came back and says, I think it's a people thing. Some women can keep it moving, some can't. Some men keep it moving, some can't. Frost, when you see the ones who can't, look at the history. It's a hit.
What I'm saying is I see it all the time. There are men that say, I can't commit, and be in a relationship 10 years, meet one woman, 3 months later they marry. What? It's an except, not you, Clips, not you, baby. I'm not talking about you.
I know.
I'm not talking about you.
I'm saying
I
understand what you're saying. Though. You know, it's that woman, it's that man that you couldn't commit to.
It is, because when you find love, it ain't even you ain't thinking about time. You ain't thinking about money. You ain't thinking about all of that
stuff.
If that's the right woman or the man,
about keeping what you have.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's what you're thinking about. It's
love.
Like, what do I need to continue to do to keep?
You ever been in love?
I have.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
You're making a preacher face over there.
I'm just saying. I love my man. I do anything for him. That's all I'm saying.
Me too. I tried once.
Man, see, there you go.
That wasn't a joke comment. That wasn't a joke comment.
That's right. I did. That's it.
TJD of Brooklyn says, happy wife, happy life.
That's it.
I believe that I work on it daily with my wife. Happened to me. Gotta love that attitude.
There is no perfect marriage.
It isn't.
There's no perfect person. You find a person that's just as messed up as you, and you be happy with them. You know what I mean? That's not. If you're looking for perfection, you ain't gonna never find it. Ain't nobody perfect. Everybody got different issues they deal with, and you find the issues you can deal with. Some of them you can't deal with, Clips, but other ones you might, you can, and you kind of find out what makes you happy. But if a man really loves you, he'll do whatever it takes to make you happy. I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that. I really do.
And then I think one thing is our associations. If you associate yourself around people who are like-minded,
right,
and believe in marriage and what it has done for them. I mean, I'm 19 in, and I don't see Jay and I ever not being together. It just don't even cross my thought. And anything that I want to do, I do it. Anything that he wants to do, he does it. But we do it with the thought that we are husband and wife. Right. And it doesn't limit us from doing the things that we do that keep us individual. Because I know you, in writing this book was for you. Right. Now everybody, including our family, it will benefit. Yeah. He helped you write it. But he helped you write it in the sense that he gave you the tools, and it's and that's what relationships are all about. I hate the fact that a lot of people make marriages so bad. And not saying that all of them are
great, right?
But there are some that are good, and those are the ones, and those are the people that you would want to be around, and your ideals will change.
Back to the business prescriptions. You're you're 1/5 of the 5 people you hang around with most. I mean, everything in life is business. If you're hanging around married people and they're speaking positive about it, that's what your mindset is, and that's true for you, because you attract whatever you think. If you think marriage is bad and it's confinement, that's what it's going to be for you. That's what it's going to be for you until you change that mindset.
So that leads me to page 31. Excessive noise in your mind.
You done skipped down.
I done skipped down because you
noise.
were talking about, the association of people and what you hear.
Right.
Now, it's a whole lot of good stuff in front of it. Like falling out of faith and quick to quit. Give up.
Right.
Surrender to succumb.
Right.
Now, I mean, all of those things are listed, but when you were talking about the noise, excessive noise in your ear, if you're hearing all of the bad, you can't, we shouldn't, why you, that automatically says you can't, I shouldn't, and I won't.
That's it. And that's straight Oprah there. Oprah always says you're drawn to what you think about most. You're drawn to whatever you hear. You attract things to yourself. And that's why one of the business prescriptions is get you a vision board. If that's not the woman for you, put a picture of a woman that you want up there. That's who you're gonna attract. And even if that is
I've
the
been
right
trying
woman,
to put that skinny woman on the
I know
refrigerator
that's
for
right.
years.
I know that's right. I mean, but anything you think about and God can get for you. Jesus, we gonna thank the Lord and keep it. It's all in fun.
Some things work, but I'm gonna have to put it in a different place.
Yeah. I mean,
The refrigerator ain't it.
The refrigerator.
No, refrigerator ain't it. I say that.
Put
I
it
gotta put her in a
somewhere
different place.
That's
I'm
it.
serious. Cause the refrigerator, you be like, move, honey. Let me get this piece of cake.
I like you, Joyce. You're gonna be all right, Joyce.
So I'm gonna
Praise
have
the
to
Lord.
move that chick from the refrigerator. She gotta be on a bikini or something.
But yeah, excessive noise. It's a lot of things going on in your head. A lot of people telling you things, and that's why you have to take time. And I always say, give God the first fruit of your time in the morning. That's what I do. I sit up and I meditate. I try to get silent so I can get clarity of what I'm thinking and what I really feel. Because it doesn't matter what clip says or you say. It's about what I think, for myself. So sometimes you hear so many people talk to you and tell you different things that you don't know what you think. So that's what I'm saying. There's so much noise in your mind that you have to just take time for prayer, meditation, positive affirmations, and sit up in the morning and just be silent.
Lack of knowledge, boredom, lack of excitement.
Right. Lack of knowledge, boredom. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. Because if you're doing what God has called for you to do, if you're living your passion, you're not going to be bored. Just like Dr. Heavenly, I just started doing this and I came up in my mind. I said, hey, you know what? I can educate people on business because that's my forte. I mean, I know business and I'm doing workbooks, I'm doing workshops and speaking to people on business, but I knew I could do it. So if I think I'm bored, I'm not living my passion. You know what I mean? And if you live in your passion, you put time and effort in it, and you'll get excited about talking to it no matter how clips looking at you. You know what I mean? So I'm just joking, baby. That's all in fun.
Love Jones says, I did my first vision board last January, and
Wonderful.
I was amazed at the things that came to pass.
A lot of times people don't think about what they want, so they don't know what they want. So if you take time and sit down and write out your wants and what you want to do with your life, you'll be surprised what you see. You get clarity when you write things down.
Now, this book, of course, is in sections.
Right. Prescriptions.
In prescriptions. So the first of we just mentioning was what prescription?
What we do is SRPs. We got the symptom, then we got the that's what you're asking, no?
Yes.
Okay, and then we got the SRP, we got the remedy, and then we got the prescription. So we get the symptom, then we get the remedy, then the prescription. Yeah.
So we're in the symptom now.
Right. The
And
problem.
The problem.
Yes.
Because the first page says what's the problem, a diagnosis, and the mindset.
That's it.
And then you break it all down.
Then you break it all down.
Then we're at life is about purpose.
That's it. Because, look, I made millions of dollars. I've lost millions of dollars. I'm telling you, it ain't about the money. Because you can have all the money in the world. If you don't have nobody to share it with, it means nothing. I'm telling you, I know this. I done been broke. I done been rich. And I know, well, rich is better. But what I'm saying is, you
Every
can't.
day of the week.
I mean, what I'm saying if you don't have anyone to share it with, all the riches in the world won't keep you happy. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
You need somebody to share it with.
Now, here's a big one.
He gonna propose today, look.
Yeah, I said
Don't
that
get
years
down
ago,
on his
I'm
knee.
convinced I'm getting
Yeah,
married
there you
tonight.
We done changed your life. That's what I'm talking about. Look.
You share it with Foot Locker, Nike. the Coach
Okay,
store.
that's all.
saying you-
Split
but
it
you-
up. Split it up. Y'all can keep it
I'm saying
up.
you can share it with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a spouse to have money and be happy, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that.
You don't know them people.
You can share it with the
You
Ford
don't know
dealership,
Coach. You
the
don't know
Jaguar
Ford.
dealership, the
You're missing the point,
Lamborghini
baby.
dealership.
You're missing the point, sweetie. Sweetie, no, we need spirits. We need something bad. We need warmth. I mean, if the car don't get you. Night. Okay, well then you go.
But then that you just conquer.
I like you. You gonna be all right, Clips. I feel what you saying.
You ain't happy.
But
you just conquering.
For the night.
You just conquering. That's all you doing.
You live day by day, right?
No, I don't.
That's how we live, day by day.
I live with a future in mind, with an exit strategy, a strategy to success. Right. That's in Dr. Heavenly's business prescriptions. You can have it all. Follow me on Twitter at Dr._Heavenly, drheavenly.com. We on AIB every Wednesday.
The screen is up on Clips.
Okay. Okay. Now let Clips talk, because we're going to break him down every time. Come on now.
We're into judging others. Life has to have balance.
Life has to have balance.
Because that's page 47, 48,
now, you know,
49.
I had a problem, or I'm working on a problem with judging people. And I would look at people and say, well, why you ain't got nothing? Why you ain't doing nothing? Why you ain't trying to get nothing? But what I realize is that people doing the best that they can do based on their level of awareness, based on their mindset. Their limited awareness keeps them from doing things. So I can't judge them because that's all they know. But we could try to educate, right? If I go out and speak, if I change one person's life, I did my job. You know what I mean? I think that people are called to do different things. And I think that people can find God in different things. And you might come to one of my business seminars and find that you find God. You know, everybody, I'm not a preacher. Please believe I'm not. But I think that everybody's called to do different things. And that's what I think. What was the question? What were we talking about?
You on it. I'm just going over titles and subtitles.
Yeah, you can't judge people because that's all they know. And if they grow up, everybody grew up in a certain environment. And one thing I remember when I was in school and I took psychology, I could look at that digital fmlive.com sign, right? From my perspective where I'm sitting. And he can look at it and see and he'll see a different thing because he's sitting from a different perspective. He can't see what I see. So if my eyesight might be limited, his might be limited, but together we might see more. But I can argue with him all day. No, that's say .com, and he might see just the OM. You know what I mean? So everybody has a different. We have a different way of viewing things based on our past.
Putting things off until later. Cockiness. Not looking the part you are called to play.
Now, all these are prescriptions for success, and everybody says the same thing. You know you got to look the part. You know you got to look the part. Now, I'm going to offend some people. If you got tattoos all up your face, you are not going to be a corporate CEO, boo-boo. You're not going to, you know what I mean? If you're getting piercings, and I don't understand it to me. And but to each his own, don't get me wrong. You ain't got I ain't see no tattoos on you. Don't look at me. You ain't got nothing.
No, I got tattoos.
Oh, I'm just saying. But long as they ain't in your face and all that. You know what I mean? So looking the part is so important in my opinion. And I think that's one of the keys to success. If you talk to successful people, on my show I have power brokers. Everybody does the same thing. Everybody has the same concepts. And they're not difficult concepts like getting up in the morning and praying and meditating or having a vision board or surrounding themselves with positive people or getting a great team together to work for them or work with them. Everybody that's successful pretty much do the same thing. They're reading the same books.
I'm going to challenge you on a thought because I had a psychologist on the show. And we talked, we talked about vision boards, and she was saying vision boards actually limits you. That you shouldn't put limitations on what you could become based on the vision in which you see yourselves. But according to your success and some of the successes of what my texters and viewers and listeners are saying, that vision boards actually help. So I'm like torn because
let me help you mend that. I think a vision board is a tool. That's what it is. But you got to upgrade your vision board. For example, if my vision board says I want to make $25 million and I'm at 20, I'm going to redo my vision board because evidently I haven't shot up high enough. But it is a tool and it does work. Ask anybody that's successful, it works. But if you haven't made it
I don't
high
think
enough,
she was saying
right. She said it limits you.
She wasn't saying in a very bad sense.
No,
she was just saying that a lot of times when we put up these visions, it's like it sticks us in a certain place without it moving us and allowing us to think outside of that. And I saw her side,
right,
because she presented it as eloquently as you are
right.
doing. So I think when it comes to visions, we have to just determine what it will take for us, because I don't need a board.
Right.
I need to read it.
Right.
I need to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's
I love biographies. I love to read about the successes of people, because it says if you can, I can.
Right.
And no matter who it is, no matter what race of person
Right.
it is, if I can read about it, then it helps me determine that, you know, they went through this, and this, and they made it happen. So it was just funny that I heard this, and she's extremely successful. She's written books and travel all over the country, and she was just saying, you know, just don't limit yourself to just that one vision. You know, just make sure that your mind is open to a lot of things, because you never know which one of those things are the ones that's gonna attract you the most to get to where you need to be. So I thought about that when I saw her put up vision, and I see this on here as well.
I think the purpose of a vision board is just to bring clarity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To think about what you
I
want
think
and put it down.
a lot of things are individual as well.
Right, exactly.
You know, I've never been a judging person,
Right.
so that one.
It's a lot of us out there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of us out there.
You know,
I'm just keeping it real.
I've been
I'm
judged.
doing better.
I've been judged. I think in this new journey of my life, a lot of people have judged me based on age, and you know, I choose to wear my hair gray because I like it.
Right.
You know, it's mine.
That's you.
I choose to wear it natural. But in this day and time, you know, I think the industry that I have worked 30 years in isn't receptive of that. So I see it as a judgment, but it doesn't stop me in my journey.
Right.
So I mean, I get it. I know judging is out there every day,
Right.
every day of the week, and I honestly feel that it is information like this that is needed long time ago. Yes, we got it now, but for years we didn't have this.
Right. It's not in the curriculum. Mama don't know it.
No,
Mama don't know it.
no, and
So
I
how
think
do we
that
get
is
it?
that is what it has happened. It's like we haven't had resources, and so when I saw this, that's why I try to bring as much of this kind of information to the forefront. It's because we need to know that it can happen.
Yes.
Let's get to the business part of it, because I only have a few more minutes.
Okay.
Business, life. That's a prescription. What are we going to find in that?
Well, the first part is the mindset. You want to have gratitude. You want to make sure you're thankful for things. Okay, after you get to the gratitude, you get to the balance part, because you have to make time for rest. You have to make time for work, and you have to make time for fun. So that's just the balance part. Then when you get to the business part, the main thing with business is making sure it's structured in a sense that you make enough money to cover your bills. We talk about marketing. A lot of times in a downturn or the recession, a lot of people, the first thing they'll X out is marketing, when that's the worst thing they can do.
Yeah,
you
folks
you
got
have
to know what
market.
you're doing.
You know, and I've heard people say, you know, I got a great book out there, and I'm glad I don't have to market it because it's good enough. It sells itself. No, it don't. You can have the best hamburger in the world. If don't nobody dang it know that you got a burger, they ain't gonna know. So you sell a whole lot more. Maybe you're selling a lot because it's great. You know, if you're selling cookies and everybody hear about it word of mouth, but imagine what you could do if you marketed.
Girl Scouts been out forever, but they do put a commercial out there.
Yeah.
When
There
it's
you go.
time to sell cookies,
There you go.
you're gonna see Girl Scout commercials,
That's
and
it.
they've been around forever.
So we go through the steps of business, the marketing, finding the right location, working on team effort, actually having a great product. Because if you don't have a great product, you don't have anything. But not only having a great product, having great service. Because a lot of people can have the same product. If the service is not good, you'll go somewhere else.
What
And that-
made one of the chapters that you have here is not able to identify what makes you unique. What made you unique?
I think a lot of things made me unique. I'm not afraid to say what I think. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people are afraid how they're going to be taken, or, you know, and I may offend people. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. But, I mean, I think it's my opinion, and everybody's entitled to their opinion, and it's a free world. And I think I'm confident. I think I'm unique in that sense, because I get a lot of friends saying, Heavenly, how you get on the radio? How you get on TV and do what you do? Aren't you scared? Like what you do, Joyce, every day. And I'm thinking like, I got my man. I don't care. You know what I So what are y'all afraid of? You know, so I think I'm unique in that sense because I didn't realize how many people were afraid to just speak in front of people, you know? So that's how I'm unique. Not just the name.
That is it. Because you gotta know, and I think one thing that you have 1,500,000% is that you know what you're talking about. People lack
except for Clips don't agree, but that's all right.
I mean, you can stand up to what you have written.
Right. And I can back up what I'm saying.
And that's the whole thing. I mean, most people can't. One of the biggest things are clients are not returning to your place of business.
Okay, if your client is not returning to your place of business, there's a reason for that. Probably poor service. It is probably poor service, and a lot of times, I'm speaking from a dental perspective, but the doctor probably don't even know how the staff doing. They back there doing procedures, and the front desk down there making people angry. You know what I mean?
On the phone.
You know, and
that's what I can't
stand. You have to put systems in place. Like, we record the lines, the calls. If you get a call from your man, we gonna hit a call. I mean, so don't have people call just for, you know, for purposes of you know, making sure everybody's doing everything right. But you'll be surprised what you hear on the phone if you listen. Imagine before we had that, when we could actually hear the calls. People say all kind of stuff on the phone. They get mad with the people. But anyway, you got to have great service. That's the main thing. But it's difficult controlling people.
I was at a hotel. I'm telling you. And the receptionist, I was maybe the second person in line. There were two receptionists. One girl was working on someone. This other girl actually answered her cell phone. Hey, and the first thing I did, I said, I need to see your manager.
That's it.
I'm
Let
sitting
them know.
up here waiting for service, and you're taking a personal call.
Don't put it on Google. Tell the boss. Dang, them ghosts don't know. Dang, tell them. They didn't know that girl was on the phone.
I need to see your manager, and that took away the professional side of this hotel. Because if you're hiring these kind of people, you don't want to be in it. You don't want to be a part. You don't want to be a part of that.
And you know, a lot of times the people will front. They'll fake in front of the boss, but they do it when they know they're not being watched. You know. So
everyone else got paid except for you.
That's what running a business. A lot of times when people run a business, they'll pay themselves last. And you know my rule is pay yourself first. Take it out automatically so you don't even miss it. Every month, every account you got, take a certain amount out automatically so you don't miss it, and save it. Save it. And because a lot of times if you got bills, they're going to over exceed what you brought in. So you got to pay yourself first. You can't pay yourself last. That's just common sense.
Last few pages. My testimony, my crusade.
Right. My testimony was just that, what I told you about wake up, live the life you love, about how God had showed me that he could show me if he wanted me to do something or not. So whenever I go out and do something different, I pray and I meditate about it. And that's my testimony. My crusade is, so many people have asked me, Dr. Heavenly, how you do what you do, how do you do it, is that I'm out here educating, speaking to people every day, doing the radio show, doing the TV show, to educate, have fun at the same time, because the highest level of thinking is having fun, and trying to show them how to run a business. Now, we got workbooks, DVDs, CDs coming out to just give you a whole business kit from A to Z, from writing a business plan to your exit strategy. And that's my crusade, to help people learn how to start a smart business. And I think it's a need for it.
You always in some of your conversation, you talk about, and I got a husband, and so obviously, relationships, and you have built strong relationships, but that relationship within your family is major.
Definitely.
In the building of a strong relationship.
Your family is everything. Your family is everything. That's your foundation there. If your family ain't right. Look, I was in a restaurant with a young lady, and I hope she ain't listening, but she's in her 40s, and she was with this guy that probably was in his 30s, and she said to me, she said, Heavenly, I read your book. And she said, Heavenly, the book, and it's good, you got the business prescription. She said, but if I ain't right with my man, my business ain't gonna be right either. You know what I mean? So you need to tell me how to get it right with my relationships before you can tell me how to get my business, because it's not gonna work, because my mind ain't gonna be right if my man ain't. right, you know. So needless to say, she got a lot of issues. But the point is that you want to have your home life right first, because if your home life ain't right, how can you go out and help people, you know, in business?
And you can see it on a person's face.
Right.
You can see it if they're telling the truth,
Yeah.
or giving
You
you
think
some,
I'm telling the
or
truth,
giving,
Joyce?
or giving you some fluff.
Cliff say no.
I'm just playing.
You can tell fluff. You can definitely tell fluff. Like,
I love my man Clips. Come on, baby.
the cute thing here, the last few things that you have in your content is tips, your business health journal, post consultation, and I really love the beginning. It's like you go through all this.
You fresh.
Now you're ready.
You ready. You fresh. You can start from there. Wherever you at, you just start from there. Because some people are here, some people are here, some people are here. You just start where you at. You have to take the first step. When I first started Dr. Heavenly and you know, writing this book and doing the business prescriptions and the blogs, my blogs weren't good at all. You know what I mean? I just started. And then now I'm here talking to you, Joyce. Look, I came up, right? I mean, I started just with one step, and then I started doing it, you know, and I'm still not where I need to be, in my opinion, because I'm my worst critic. But you take that first step. Like I was at my thing yesterday, my book signing, and a guy, we gave a giveaway of dental work, right? And a guy put it on a piece of paper, all his information. Everybody else had business cards. And they were, you know, ragging him, why you ain't got no business card? He wrote down his Twitter and all that on his Facebook on a piece of paper and put it in there. But he took that step.
Yeah.
You got to think, you know, think the mindset he had to have, well, shoot, I ain't got no cards, but I'm going to make me a card. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Exactly,
Start
because
where
all
at
you
and
want
take
is
a
the
step.
information,
Because if you
regardless
start-
of how you get it.
If you start walking, somebody might give you a ride. They see you working, they gonna help you, Joyce, right? Right. You gotta
Give me the
start.
good, the bad, and the ugly of life and business in a nutshell.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. There's always going to be people that judge you. There's always going to be criticism. And criticism is probably the lowest level of thinking. But it is the price you have to pay for success. You're going to be criticized, Joyce. I'm sure you already know that. You're going to be criticized. That's the
Lord
bad.
knows.
I mean, you know, and that's it. But the good part of it is if you're doing what you know you ought to be doing, and I know I should be doing this. I feel like I had a calling to do it, not to preach. But I feel like, you know, and I talked to my pastor about it, and he said, Heavenly, if you feel like God put it on your heart to do something, it's no longer an option. It's an obligation. So that's the good. If you're doing what you want to, you feel good about yourself, Joyce. You get up in the morning like, yes. So there you go.
That's why I came
That's
on
it.
in here today.
That's it.
That's why I came.
Clips
How
in
can
a
folks
nutshell.
get closer to Dr. Heavenly's prescription of success?
You can follow me. That's where you're going.
Yes.
You can follow me on Twitter at Dr._Heavenly. I'm all over the place. I'm on Facebook, like my page, Dr. Heavenly. It's easy to remember. My website is www.drheavenly. See, I make it easy for you. It's all drheavenly.com. Subscribe to my e-newsletter. I put out good business tips. All you have to do is click the subscribe button on my website. And follow me. I'm on AIB every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Dr. Heavenly's Business Prescriptions. And we have power brokers on there, and we get their opinion on different things. You know, I come at them, you know, different ways. And it's fun. It's fun, and I think people like it. They be watching. I got a lot of hits on YouTube, you know, when I replay it, you know, so.
Speaking to the black women, what is the biggest mistakes we make?
Oh.
In a nutshell, wrapping it up.
Letting them men run you. I'm sorry, Clip Shoot. I'm sorry. I wish you wasn't sitting there, baby. But that's the problem. They bring so many women down. I mean, they could be up here, and a man will take you down just as fast as, you know what I mean? A woman could be right here. And I found that a lot of women make the sorry men feel like they live. You know what I mean? Like they messed it up for everybody because they giving stuff away. We used to run the world with our gifts, if you will. And now they just giving it away. It ain't even, how can I put this? I'm trying to say it.
Just say
it. It ain't selling like it used to because y'all giving it away. You don't give it away.
It ain't
worth
selling like
something.
it used to. Don't give it away.
I'm just saying. And that's
to the
I think
clips.
that's what I think. Not you, baby. I'm not talking to you. I'm just saying. But isn't that a problem, Joyce? Don't you think like the things have changed since I was a teenager?
I think women have made it too easy.
It's too easy. Men don't appreciate it no more.
I also think women have tried to become competitive to men rather than just being women. Just being women and stop trying to compete. I ain't trying to compete with you. I don't care to compete with you.
But sometimes the men ain't doing nothing, so they just got to step up. You know what I mean?
But then that man doesn't need to be.
There you
with
go.
you.
That's my point.
You know,
that's my point.
If I'm with a man and I know what his responsibilities are, then I'm not gonna do the things that this man can do unless he is incapable physically of doing those things. And I think that's what women do too much of. Like I said, and I'll say it again, I hate independence. I hate that word in a sense that you can have it, but don't let it control you to the point to where if this able-bodied man is here, allow him to be a man.
Ain't no such a thing as no job. Get out there, get a lawnmower, dang it, and start mowing some lawn. It's something you could do. Get you some water and wash some cars.
It's something you can do.
It's something you can do. If you laying up in my house, you at least going looking. You're not going to be.
McDonald's always hiring. Walmart
They
always
Don't
hiring.
matter.
Do something.
Hey,
Do
you
something.
gotta-
I can't take it. I can't take it. I can't take it. A man not
And
working, I
that's
can't
the
take it. I
problem
don't understand it.
That's the problem that I have.
I know people probably disliking my Twitter right now. Look, I'm just saying, if you ain't got no job, it's a reason. I'm gonna have a job. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do what I tell you in this book is if you don't have a job right now, you know what industry you want to be in. Work in the industry for free. If you work hard as hell, they gonna hire you. If you come in the dental office and you say, I don't know nothing about dentistry, or I do know something about dentistry, but doc, can I work for free and prove it to you? And if you do it and you bring in production in, because like anything with business, it's all about making money. If you bringing people in and you working hard and you making a good look for the clinic, you think I'm not gonna hire you? Make yourself indispensable. All you do is work.
Y'all hear her. That's Dr. Heavenly. The book is called Dr. Heavenly's Business Prescriptions. You can have it all. And it can be found on your website and where other places?
Yes, it's on Amazon.com. And on my website, I got a direct link to anywhere you can purchase it. Yes, and I will have my workbooks up probably next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, we got a whole kit together.
Enjoyed you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been an honor.
It's been good.
Miss Joyce, thank you.
It's been good.